Okay, now here we are at Ford's Theater. Now, most of you know that this is the place where Abraham Lincoln was shot and killed by John Wilkes Booth. Sorry, they wouldn't let us go inside, so. Now, this place was actually pretty cool. This was a really, really big cathedral. And it only took about 90 years to build. Plus it went through World War I and World War II. And every stone on the whole building was cut and carved to match each other. They weren't like just square bricks that they stacked on top of each other. And it was really big. Now, there you can kind of see something that does not look like a gargoyle. That is actually Darth Vader's head. It's kind of hard to see from this far away, but just so you can help get a picture of it, that's where it is. They had a vote when they were building the cathedral, when Star Wars was popular, and they asked the kids what they should put up there instead of a gargoyle, because they couldn't think of anything else. And all the kids voted to put Darth Vader there, because they thought he was pretty scary. So, that's what they did. There you got Darth Vader's head up on top of a cathedral. And here we are inside of the cathedral. That is one of the stained glass windows that's inside of it. And that thing kind of changes color throughout the day. So, it actually is pretty amazing that they built this whole thing in 90 years. Now this right here, this is the podium for the priest or the pastor or whoever speaks in the cathedral. Is very, very detailed. Just look at the design on that thing. It was actually the place where Martin Luther King Jr. gave his last speech. Now that right there, that is a big stained glass window. The middle flower in there is 6 feet tall. That is the main altar for the cathedral. And it's a lot bigger than it looks on camera. And there's that stained glass window. That thing is big. And those are the organ pipes. Now some of the organ pipes are so big that they don't even look like organ pipes, and some of them are so small that you can't even see them. And here's the main altar again. It was pretty cool. And that's the Archbishop's chair. And the only way you can call that your church has a cathedral is if you have one of those. And that thing, I don't think is pure gold. It's actually like painted on gold or something. So, it's not actual gold. And that's Helen Keller's grave. She was buried underneath the church. And here we are at the Naval Yard. And, yeah, that's the ship that you tour on. You know, most things are actually a lot bigger than they appear on camera, so that thing was a lot bigger than what it looks like. And here's the museum inside of the Naval Yard, and they've got lots of motto ships here, and I like those, so I made sure I videotaped all those. right here, this shows what the inside of a ship looked like. This thing was really cool. Definitely lots of rooms. And here we are at the visitor center of the U.S. Capitol. Now, these are all statues because, well, every state in the Union was required to make 2 statues and then give them to the U.S. Capitol. So there are lots of statues down there. It's like 100 in the whole Capitol thing, but there's only a few in this room. That's the biggest one. However, I don't think that one was given by a state. That's just a statue that they put in there. And this is the whole, like, oh, how do you explain it? The whole structure that keeps the U.S. Capitol from falling into the ground. So, yeah, that was cool. By the way, this is not underneath the dome. This is like off to the side. The dome is much bigger than this. And here we are walking into the main dome of the U.S. Capitol. Now this place was basically like a football stadium. So it's a lot smaller than it actually was when it appears on camera. What was really funny was that up there when they were doing all the painting and stuff, somebody, the painter, he fell down but then grabbed a hold of the wall and he was hanging there, and he hung there for 15 minutes before somebody realized that he wasn't painting anymore and came and looked for him. And after that he quit. So they had to find a new painter.